So I want to start this video off by letting you know that this probably won't be my official build video for NBA 2K23. We had around 9 hours to get the Jordan Challenge, quick play, builds, test the game, alongside being in the environment with 100 other creators, right? So you're probably not going to be focused on the game the whole time while you're trying to network. But I'm probably going to use this build as a template, and I want you guys to pay attention to this because my position typically has always been the on-ball lock. I've been somebody that always has to follow these small guards around, and so when we're making this build, I pretty much had something in mind. You have to choose your destiny with this game, guys. You aren't going to be able to do everything, and I've already kind of like laid a foundation down of how I want to build this build. And off rip, you see with the finishing, I just want to get to a competent level, right? Where I can have slithery finisher, limitless takeoff on silver. I'm not doing too much with it, but I'm able to be competent going to the rim. Another thing here, you see with my playmaking, I'm able to pass the ball effectively, especially as a secondary ball handler if necessary, and an 83-point shot I'm going to be able to knock down. Now, the one thing defensively, I want to be a dog on the defensive side of the ball, and alongside having speed. Lateral quickness is tied to your speed and acceleration, and that is the thing that helps me keep one-to-one with a lot of guys. When you guys are watching my pro-am videos and I'm fighting for my life through screens, these are the things that are happening here. So I just wanted to go ahead and let you guys see what we came up with to get 20, 20, 16, and 10. Now, I know some people may get better numbers than this, but I'm gonna go ahead and pause it real quick just so you guys can take a look at this. The thing that people discount when I'm making these builds, right? Because it doesn't have the insane numbers that a lot of people wanna go for. The thing is that the physicals is a badge in itself. Being able to have 93 speed, I'm most of the time the fastest guy on the floor. I'm gonna get 10 points, 8 points off of just running the floor in transition in a lot of situations, especially if I'm not playing with the selfish guard that's just gonna dribble it up just to watch themselves dribble. If I have somebody that can find me up the floor, typically we're gonna get 10 to 12 to 15 points, especially if I'm running straight to the corner. So speed and acceleration is gonna be a badge in itself, in my opinion, alongside having interior defense. When you look at my defensive badges, I'm going to be able to get Hall of Fame Menace, Hall of Fame Ankle Braces, Pick Dodger, Challenger, which is pretty much the perimeter intimidator. And then I'm still eligible to get Anchor on bronze, along with gold clamps. Now, like I said, this is just a template right now. I'm going to adjust this, but the main thing I noticed with this builder by itself is that you have to choose 2 or 3 things you want to be great at. And for me, right, I've always found that I've had success being the fastest or most athletic person on the floor. Rather that's being the 2 guard, maybe being the point guard in a lot of situations for my team, especially with that pass accuracy. I may bump that up in the future, but as far as today in this build video showing you guys where my head was at, I'm able to finish with this build. I'm also able to create for myself in a lot of situations, getting the pro dribble moves and things of that nature. And a 95 perimeter defense along with the 57 interior defense. Look, if a guard or a wing tries to take me to the rim, I'm gonna get a solid contest on them. I'm also gonna get a good contest on the perimeter out there. People are still gonna make 6'3" guards, 6'2", 6'1". There's always gonna be a meta for that because those guys typically don't play defense. So outside of that, this is what my build started off. Once again, this is a template. This is not the official build. But if we get back into it, the main thing I wanted you to see overall is the potential, right? I still get limitless range in my tier 3, also have access to Deadeye, Agent 3s even, and then I get corner specialist on gold, Hall of Fame volume shooter, things like that. So I've always been either a hash player that was closer to the hash or I was corner. And with that, I feel like I've always been a pretty competent shooter to the point where if you need me to knock down a shot, I'm gonna knock down a shot. But outside of that, we're just working through it right now. And I just wanted to go ahead and just show you how this build is playing out as we're creating it and just putting it together. This builder was difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you, because it makes you pick and choose the things that you want to be great at and not great at. And me finding a way to squeeze out 20 and 20 on playmaking and defensive, that was a tough job in itself, simply because perimeter defense and defensive rebound are tied together this year. And that's the unfortunate part. Along with speed and acceleration, all of us pretty much know that that is expensive, those two being tied together in itself. I think this was a solid point to start off, because I'm gonna have another build video coming out in a couple of days whenever the game releases, once I'm able to lab this a little bit more. So now we officially have it at the 99 mark, and I'm done talking about it. I just want to show you where I ended up on the day when I was making this build. Like I said, this took around an hour or 2 hours. Some people were labbing the whole time, but I wanted to experience more of the game because I'm a gameplay guy. If the game doesn't feel good, hey, I'm bypassing it altogether. So with that though, these are the stats I went with, because I'm still gonna have access to some pretty good dunk animations. 83-point shot is competent, especially from the corner, with a good jump shot, along with pass accuracy, ball handle, speed with ball, having that 95 perimeter defense to access the Hall of Fame challenger badge. Hey, it's key. So now that we've moved forward, you see I only got access to 5 takeovers, which isn't special at all, but I did get access to limitless range and of course the traditional lock badges. So these were my comparisons: Vernon Maxwell, Jalen Green, and Cade Cunningham. And honestly, I'm not mad at these connections here. So now we got to go ahead and see if we can test it a little bit. So when it came to the badges, I decided to go finishing, masher, of course. Giant Slayer is tied together with Teardropper, and you see I'm going through it pretty quick. I got to a point where I knew what I was doing at this point, and like I said, this could change in a couple of days. But as far as somebody who's going to be putting up a plethora of shots when I'm playing on my own, limitless range. Now, something I didn't use in this builder at the time were the core badges, and that's on me. Like, it was so much going on that day as far as like trying to make sure how the gameplay feels. We're playing on PlayStation, and you know I'm an Xbox guy most of the time. It was just a lot of adjustment period that I completely forgot to use the core badges that we had access to. But the fact that I was able to access Hyperdrive Gold, Quick First Step Gold with this build, to only have an 80 with 84 speed with ball, hey, I was happy with it overall. Now, defense, hey, those 20 badge points go quick. And so that's going to be the thing that I'm going to have to like work on, especially when I'm like making this build the next time. Because look, you see, we don't get access to Ray Allen. We don't get access to Steph Curry. So the jump shots that we are actually looking at, it's pretty tough. I would say though, Kevin Love is a really good jump shot for the 80 to 88 range when it comes to these lower tier animations that you get access to. So with that, I just wanted to mainly give you guys an opportunity to look at this build, see for yourself. We can watch the gameplay if you want to stick around and just hear my analysis of it. I did think that I was able to keep up with my matchup pretty much the whole time. Outside of a few situations, because I wasn't running clamps. If I would have put clamps as a core badge, I probably would have been fine, but I just didn't. I just wasn't thinking at the time as far as like trying to put a build together. And then from there, I was able to hit my shots with this build, even from the top of the key. Limitless range is a badge I feel like everybody should have. It's gonna be comparison to like sniper. You know what I'm saying? I'm green in that mid range. They're already starting off high, being able to hit my shots. And then of course, my thing is always running the floor. Big block on Jalen Green, building that takeover, you know what I mean? And so now we're just trying to find a way to be consistent with that, right? Like being able to go ahead and just create for ourselves along with our teammates and then get stops and run the floor. Here you see we got Drew Holiday and DeAndre Ayton setting screens, popping out. And you see I'm able to still handle really quick. Pull up, Green, hey, you see that the build has that skill there to make something shake. So I just want to let you know that like, just because the stats don't necessarily look super inflated like most people, this game is not easy to shoot on. Like, if you don't green it, you're not hitting it. Now, outside of layups and dunks, like I said, right, if you don't green it, you're not hitting it. So that's the one thing I want you to pay attention to. Yet again, we're cashing out one more time. So guys, I just wanted to give you a quick look at this build. This is my 3-and-D 2 guard. We're gonna remake this build in the next few days, but this is something for you guys that are gonna be on ball locks. I repeat, on ball locks, secondary ball handlers, etc. If you want that speed to keep up laterally, then I think this is a good option. And of course, the strength, that's something we can play with too. This was just a template. But outside of that, my people, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hey, we're trying to hit 100K this year. And hey, we're gonna just try to pace it and keep it going the rest of the year. But hey, I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you in the next one.